So I have for you today basically the perfect example of when Democrats just hurt themselves and make themselves seem like Republicans and make it harder for voters to want to come out and vote for them in key elections like the midterms or 2024 or whenever. So this is what happened. And I'm not going to be unrealistic in my analysis of this, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Nancy Pelosi was asked during a press conference yesterday, hey, what about a stock trading ban for members of Congress? We have all these issues with members of Congress, meaning the House and Senate, accused circumstantially in these conditions where they seem to be making stock moves based on things that they know and everybody else doesn't. It's not technically insider trading because of the committee memberships, et cetera, that these members have. And there's actually an exception where it's not considered insider trading in some of these situations, although in some you could argue that it is. And it just looks terrible. It makes it seem as though members of Congress are using information that they learn through their roles as elected officials, supposedly serving the public to enrich themselves. What about a stock trading ban? And Nancy Pelosi just goes, nah, I mean, we're a capitalist country. It's just, and it's such a, even if you're not going to do it, it's the worst possible response. So let's take a look at the clip and then we'll talk about it more.
Should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock, on the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be.
Why should they be banned?
Because this is a free market and we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, like, I know Nancy Pelosi doesn't support that. Nancy Pelosi is one of the people, along with her husband, who regularly make individual stock trades, options, etc. And I'm sure it makes them a whole bunch of money. So, like, I don't think for a second Nancy Pelosi at this point in her career can be convinced to ban members of the House and Senate from trading in individual stocks. So I'm not naive in that sense. But this is sort of like the worst way that you could possibly answer it. And I know that why would I encourage politicians to be dishonest? But when I think about winning, when I see this, I think, well, so are they different than Republicans or not? The most sort of insidious part of the House and Senate being allowed to trade individual stocks, it's not just that they can have access to information that lets them make money. It's they could actually make legislative decisions to help companies in which they own stocks or would own stocks. So like this is really a very serious issue. So if Nancy Pelosi just threw a bone and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm just as concerned as you are. We are here to serve the public. We are not here to enrich ourselves. And I am willing to hear any good idea as to how to prevent members of the House and Senate from acting inappropriately based on our privileged positions or whatever." And then say, bring me a proposal, and then never do it. Like, in other words, I know it's not going to happen. And so this is an answer where it's not only that she's not going to do it, she doesn't even seem to care enough to appear as though it matters to her that members of the House and Senate not enrich themselves with stock trades based on information. And then there's sort of like a subsequent layer as well, which is what about the transparency? Because there's, as was being mentioned there's this delay for the reporting of transactions for members of the House and Senate. You could have a much faster turnaround on that. Everything is executed electronically at this point in time. There's no reason for any delay in the reporting. Make a public record immediately of the trades of the members of the House and Senate. And so at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with people making money. We're talking about 535 Americans here, 435 in the House, 100 in the Senate, who are choosing, presumably, to go into public service. They're not being forced to do it. We're not even saying they can't make money. We're not even saying they should have to sell all the stocks that they have, just to turn over control of them. I think it's too much to say You can't buy or sell anything. Nothing can be bought or sold in your name while you're in the House or Senate. Appoint someone. You're not involved in the day-to-day. Some call it a blind trust. They can make the decisions for you so that when you are deciding, okay, who do we give a contract to? What kind of regulatory infrastructure do I push for in this industry or that? But in the back of your mind, you know you own stocks in certain ones of those industries. At least the stock trading decisions could be made by somebody else. And this is the type of thing that makes people say both sides are terrible. Neither side cares about us. They just care about themselves. And this is the stuff that makes me say Democrats are just another party concerned primarily with self-preservation. In that sense, Republican Party, Democratic Party, it's basically the same thing. The Democratic Party has more policy I agree with, certainly. And it's such a small thing. 535 people in Congress. You can't trade individual stocks while you're in the House or Senate. You could trade mutual funds, even though people don't typically trade them in the same way. You can keep the stocks you had beforehand, just turn over control of them. That's it. And, I am not optimistic. I know that this is like a relatively small thing triggering this reaction. But overall, I am not super optimistic about 2022. And I know we have to still fight for it. But I mean, what exactly has been done about white supremacy and extremism? What has been done on voting rights? I guess now they want to take it up. Student loans. There was never going to be anything done on student loans other than make people start repaying them. Something federal on cannabis, etc. This is a layup. At least just give an answer that looks good. I am committed to making sure that, and then do nothing. She can't. She doesn't even care enough to do that. It's absolutely bonkers. And if Democrats lose, it won't be a shock. It won't be a shock, and we will have many explanations as to why. Her answer is not the reason why, but it certainly doesn't help.
Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night helps you sleep. I can't sleep in a hot room. That's why I love our sponsor, Chili Sleep, which makes customizable, climate-controlled sleep solutions to sleep better. Their flagship products are the Uller sleep system and the Cube sleep system, which is what I have. Both are hydro-powered, temperature-controlled luxury mattress pads. You can make them as cold as 55 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanted, you could go as hot as 115 degrees. I like the cooler option. I keep mine at 60 degrees, and it gives me a great cool night of sleep. No feeling hot, no more sweating. I'm falling asleep faster, and it pairs perfectly with Chili Sleep's weighted Chili Blanket, which keeps you cold on top, too. Right now, Chili Sleep is running a special sale. You'll get 30% off everything when you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.